everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Belinda. If it's your first time here, make sure to hit the subscribe button. In terms of what you can expect a lot of academia, career and lifestyle content. So I cover my journey through my career, so what qualifications I'm currently doing. I did ACCA before, recently did my CISA, and who knows what I'm going to do next. So I just take you through my journey and share some tips and tricks that I've learned along the way. Today's video is actually one on CISA, so it's in response to some of the questions I've been receiving from you guys. So definitely thank you for engaging with me. If you haven't checked out my videos yet, I will put a link in the description box and also somewhere on the screen, so make sure to check it out. But yeah, I'll cover 2 to 3 questions just so that this video isn't too long. And if you have any other questions you think I should cover, make sure to drop them in the comment section and I'll do another Q&A. So if you see me looking down, I'm looking at my laptop, just that I don't miss any of the questions I wanted to cover. So the first one I'm going to go for, Tejas, he commented, thank you for the video. I have some doubts. Does each question carry the same marks, e.g. 1 mark each? And how many questions out of 150 should you get correct to pass the exam? So basically, he wants to know, do the questions carry the same marks and what's the pass mark, basically. So for those of you who don't know, if you're new to CISA, it's just something you're researching on. CISA is a 4-hour exam and it has 150 questions. Yes, sounds a lot, but make sure to check out a video where I talk more about it and how I prepared for the exam. But in the context of this question, so every question in the exam has the same mark. So there's no one question that basically is more has more marks than the other. However, is each question the same level of difficulty? No. Some are harder than others, unfortunately, but they all carry the same marks. So how CISA actually does it is, there are 5 domains which I've discussed in how to pass CISA, how to prepare for CISA. There are 5 domains, which I'll just go through quickly. So what CISA does is, depending on the domain and the weighting, there are more questions from that domain compared to another. So if there are 150 questions, there won't be 30 per domain because there are 5 domains in CISA. So you won't find 30 questions per domain or chapter. No. There are certain chapters which have a higher weighting, meaning that they'll have a lot more questions than others. So some might have 50 questions while others have only 10 or 20 because they're considered not that critical, or in terms of weighting, they consider certain areas more important than others. So that's how CISA manages to, get a scaled score per section. So every question has the same mark, that's the bottom line, but certain chapters will have more questions in the paper than others. And in the end, your total mark is what's considered in terms of your passing mark. So the 5 domains are information systems auditing process, governance and management of IT, information systems acquisition, development and implementation, information systems operations and business resilience, and protection of information assets. So protection of information assets has the highest weighting, 27%, followed by information systems operations and business resilience, which is 23%, and then information systems auditing process, which is 21%, and the other 2 are below 20%. So you will see in my study tips like how to prepare for CISA, I do encourage you to read for the basically revise the chapters based on their weighting, because the higher the weighting, the more the questions there will be in the exam. In terms of the pass mark, so what happens is CISA's scoring is, I still don't understand it to this very day. So there are 150 questions and it's not a percentage based on the 150 questions. What they do, they take your score out of 150 in terms of how many questions you got right, and then they scale the score to be between 200 to 800 marks. Now, not each chapter has the same scaling, so there is some complexity in there, but all you need to know is that you need a score of 450 to pass the exam. How they get to that score is not something that is very visible for you to know and work it out. What I would encourage you to do is focus more on actually passing the exam. Focus more on your exam preparation. Focus on those heavy chapters, the ones that you know are going to have more questions than others, because the truth is, as long as you're excelling in those chapters and you're not doing too bad on the others, you will pass. So if I even look at my own results sheet, so I got a score of, just a moment, let me find it. I had it open just now. Yes, so I had a score an average score, because what they do, they convert it between 200 to 800 for each domain, and then it's an average. So against each domain, I can see my score, and you have to have 450. That's the minimum passing score. So against all that, then you get an average total score, like the total score, which is, for me, it was 616 out of 800, and you need to get above 450. And you will see which chapters that you did better than others. So like for me, my best chapter was actually Information Systems Acquisition, Development and Implementation. And my worst one was Information Systems Operations and Business Resilience. So I guess I know the software development lifecycle much better, because that's the one. The information systems acquisition, development, and implementation is more about, it's centered around the software development lifecycle and project management related to, software acquisition, software development. So that's probably what I do more actually day to day. So yeah, you, in your answer sheet, like your transcript that you get once you finish the exam, you will get to see your score per domain. But simply put, you need a score of 450. How you arrive at that, guys, it's not that clear, but your score will be scaled to be between 200 to 800. And all you need to do is make sure that you revise on the heavy chapters, because those are the ones which are going to dominate your exam. All right, so that answers those two questions related to how, like basically by Tejas, so regarding how many marks are there per question, and then what's the pass mark. The next one will be by Melchizedek, who asked me, hi Belinda, thanks for the insights you share with us, they are really helpful. I just wanted to ask you, can you recommend a uni student to pursue ACCA SATs, especially CISA? So Melchizedek, there is nothing stopping you from doing CISA, CISM, C-Risk, so all the certifications by ACCA, they are open to students as well. However, my personal opinion is, it's probably better for you to start working because it will make a lot of sense when you're working to do the certification. Now, if you're in a position where you do not have that luxury to start a related role that's required for the certification, so you're not in any information systems control, information system security, an IT team, IT support, you're not in any of those roles, even an IT project manager. So if you're not in any of those roles that are relevant for the certification, but it's something you're looking to do next, so you're trying to switch your job, things like that, or you're trying to get into the job market, the truth is having the certification does make you stand out. It does play that role in boosting your career, so you can do it. You're free to do it. Personally, as maybe because I'm biased, because that's what I ended up doing, I got a job first, and then during the job is when I did the certification. I found that a lot of things now made sense. It's like, so this is what we do. Okay, so you can kind of relate it to your day-to-day, but it's not a requirement at all. And then also there's another question from Demin. He asked, is there any scope for ACCA from accounting background in information systems assurance? Like only the engineer have scope in information systems assurance. So I'm assuming you're trying to ask if you're from like an accounting background, if there is any scope for you in information systems assurance. And of course, CISA is related to information systems assurance. That's one of the job roles that you can, practice in. There is no restriction, similar to what I said earlier to the person who was asking if they're in uni, if they can do it. There is no restriction at all. None at all. You can do it. In fact, again, this is maybe me being biased, but it's my opinion, right? I think when you've done ACCA, you have the full context of, financial reporting, how companies work, how businesses work, how they report their performance. You have all that, at your fingertips. Now, what CISA does, and basically information systems, it brings the tech, it merges the tech with the financial, and you are all round. So in fact, I think you are in a much better place compared to other people to do information systems assurance. You know what the end goal is, because information systems assurance should ideally support the performance of a business at the end of the day. There is no point for IT to be thriving if it's not supporting the main thing in the business, which is earning profits, making the business do better, making the business earn more revenue, or at least manage that data better. Tech should always enable business. So at the end of the day, you are in a very good position to actually get into information systems assurance. And if you didn't know, information systems assurance actually pays better. So whenever you get, add a tech into your normal day-to-day role, you'll be very surprised how your salary goes up. But yeah, that's all for today. I know there are many other questions that you might want me to answer. Make sure to drop a comment. I'm always reading through them and seeing which ones to cover in my next videos. Make sure to like and subscribe and share this with anyone who you think might benefit from this. Thanks guys, bye.